Another one, another analysis is game time, guys. We are looking at round 3. Okay, right now. Somebody alarm going off at 10:30 at night. But this is round 3, right? So if you're new to the YouTube channel, make sure you guys subscribe, guys. This is round 3. Today we're looking at the game I played against Robert Martindale Campo. So this is my 4th time playing him. 4 times I have played this guy. The first time I won. That was actually one of the best games I ever played. It was a C3 Sicilian. Y'all remember that? C3 Sicilian, baby. C3 Sicilian for the kill, right? That was my favorite one. He's an international master. He's like 22 something. He dropped a lot of points, obviously, but he has been strong 23 before. Man, I'm not sure if he's been even peak 24 or whatever. I don't even know if he won his title, if he got norms. I don't know. But he's an international master, and he's very strong, in fact. Very strong and actually underrated strong. And the first time I beat him, right? Then the next 2 times we drew, and now it's this game. So let's go. Y'all ready for this? Here we go. All right. This one is called the Master Swindler. The Master Swindler. Okay, we about to see a crazy game. You about to see a crazy game. Here it is. All right, so he go e4, I go c5, and we lie. He goes knight f3, I go d6. And he sat here for like 15 minutes. Bruh. I'm not kidding, bro. He sat here for maybe not 15. But for the next 3, between moves right now, between moves 2 and 5, he spent like 30 minutes almost. And I was like, bro, what's wrong with him? What is wrong with him? And I was thinking, like, has he never? I mean, like, he played many Sicilians. Like this one for today, he just ain't never seen a Sicilian before. Bruh. I'm like, what is he going through? Why are you taking this much time? And I was like, but you know what? I'll take it, right? Because I know that if he takes a lot of time, like he did in our first game, he got 45. He thought for 45 minutes on one of our moves. In fact, you can actually go back. Maybe I'll link the video, but you guys can find it. One of my old Charlotte tournaments I did, and I hit him with this line, and he thought for 45 minutes out the opening. 45 minutes, one move. I remember it. But so I know he a thinker. But here I'm like, bro, we on like move 3 or 4 in the Najdorf, and he's still thinking. So this will happen, right? He go knight c3, right? And then after knight f6, he thinks for like 10 minutes. Bruh. On that. And I'm like, what on earth is he thinking about right now? What else could he be thinking about for 10 minutes on the clock? An international master that didn't play this game before. I'm out here puzzled right now. But at the same time, I'm like, look, eat up all the time because you're going to need it later, big fella. You're going to need it later. So, you know, I mean, you better be careful with your time, right? But, all right. So I came here to renew my sub with someone. Gifted you already. Let's go, motivated Mark. Nice. Nice, right? So he thinking, right? He thinking. And then he thought all that time just to play. Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this, guys? Hold on. Here it is. It's a magical move. D4. Bruh. Okay. So he 15 minutes. Play D4. I'm like, all right, cool, bro. Let's get... All right, perfect, right? And in his prep, in my prep, I know what he plays against the Najdorf Sicilian, because I play many Sicilians now. Like honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, I can play like 5 different Sicilians. But I'm a big fan of the Sicilian opening itself. I do like the Najdorf a lot, but I am actually a fan of many different Sicilians, and it's good to be versatile. So I was, Najdorfish here. I was feeling Najdorfy, so I hop in here with the Najdorf, check his files. I'm like, oh, okay, I like what he played. Let's hit him with a Najdorf, right? So D4, I snap. He snaps. I go A6. We go Najdorf. He go Bishop E2. I'm like, oh, cool. So I go E5, and then he goes Knight F3, right? And this is all theory. And then Bishop E7, and then he hits me with a move that's Bishop G5. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a new one. Not that it's new, but this is one of the rare, strange ones, I would say. Especially for people that study Najdorf theory, this is not one you get a lot, right? This is not one you get a lot. Who can tell me what the idea is? What is Bishop G5 about? Big center vibes, that's right. I'm laughing because I know it's in front of Berkut. I don't even know. Yeah, that's not right. You know it. Come on, Conte. So what are we doing, guys? Is all in the theory. That's right. This is actually all theory here. This is all theory. White wants to put the knight on d5. Correct, guys. Absolutely correct. White wants to put the knight on the d5 square. But you have to chop off the knight first because the knight controls the d5 square. So you can put the knight on d5. But studies show, in fact, theory shows, that you're just fine after you develop bishop to e6. Totally fine. And then he chops it off. I take, he goes knight d5, and I go knight to d7. And I say and argue that I'm completely equal here. 100% equal, no problems. And here's some lines. What happens is the queen, sometimes you'll castle queenside, right? And after they castle queenside, I tuck the bishop on e7. I take back with the king, believe it or not. So a sample line like queen d3. I'm just going to show you bishop e7, castles, right, and rook c8. And then after knight takes, sorry, maybe not rook c8, maybe knight f6. And then if knight takes e7, you take back with the king, believe it or not, right? And you can take back with the king in many cases. It's kind of funny. But here, I mean, this is kind of strange because there's like this weird queen a3 check here, right? But there's many cases where this works here, but it's not in this one. It's not in this one, right? But there are cases where you can do that. And actually, in my post-game analysis, what I found out is after knight d5, right, I go knight d7, and then first things first, let me tell y'all guys, he hit me with a move that, this move right here, bro, not only is it not, it wasn't in no database. Bruh. I mean, none of them. It wasn't in ChessBase. It wasn't in the Elite Chess database. It wasn't in the Chess.com database. Bruh. Bro, there was like no games. I was like, what? He made up a magical move. Like, I've never seen this move ever. Like, I looked through all the stuff that I had, all my files, all the database games. This move in this position ain't never been played. It feels so strange, and it's so natural, right? He plays c4, like, and everybody going crazy because this has never happened before. It's like a novelty, right? And I'm looking through, and I'm like, wow, like, what the heck is this, bro? Like, why is this nowhere? Why is this nowhere? Why did nobody on Earth, out of all the millions of chess everywhere and everything about chess, nobody in this ever played this? Nobody ever played this? No one. No one. So I was kind of mad about this in the post-game analysis. Because I'm like, well, dang, I ain't had nothing to, like, I don't even know what he's trying to say. What is this? Like, what is that? It looks great, but it looks like a great move. That's the problem that I don't like about a Curious Chimpanzee, is the fact that it does look like a great move. It's like, I'm like, wait. And I was like, I mean, I study a lot. So I was like, I don't remember this. Like, what is this? I mean, I don't feel like I don't feel bad or anything. I just like, what is this? Like, what is it? It was strange to me. It was strange. But it was a move. It was a very good move. So I castle. Engine move number 1. He castles 2, right? Engine says I should go for rook c8, right? I should take the knight in many cases and play queen b6. And I was like, wow, okay. I could put the knight on c5 and play a5, which is something I actually did. Watch this. I played bishop e7. White, which is totally fine. They like black by 0.2, which is super equal. Like, this is literally equal. They're like, oh, we like black by like 0.2. Like, that's nothing. So bishop to e7, though. I'm defending, but I'm going to play knight f6. And then I'm probably going to take with the knight or the bishop. Probably the bishop. Maybe reroute around. All right, we'll see. We'll see. But I played bishop e7, and then he goes knight e1. And everything's still equal here. Right? Engine likes bishop takes d5. Knight c5. I mean, this is a very slow game. Very slow game. You know what I mean? So, okay. I go knight c5, which is fine. I'm attacking the pawn. He goes bishop f3. And here the engine is screaming, take it or play rook c8. Take it or play rook c8. But what are some other ideas in this position, chat? And what would you play? Let's see what you would do. I was looking, right, the engine says rook c8 is a move. Engine says bishop g5 is a move, and bishop takes d5. It's because you're knight on d7 instead of c6, since d4 can be taken, make c4 a good move. I mean, c4 is just a good move because it said wedges the pawn in. It really has nothing to do really with the knight. It's just that this is a weird move. It was weird, but c4 is good. This is a good move. b5, okay, b5 actually, very nice move. Actually a fan of b5. I wonder why I didn't play this. Takes, and knight c2 apparently. Yeah, I guess because it's just out there. It's just out there. He said, I will play queen c8. He says, oh, I'm so bad. Oh, wow. Sheesh. Queen c8. Oh, my goodness. Garbage. Nice. On national television. Bruh. Sheesh. Queen c8. Sad queen. Yeah, that's everything. Drop the whole house. Give me everything. Everything must go sale. So I played a5 here. The intention of a5 is to get rid of any intentions of you ever kicking my knight away, because I like where my knight is. I eventually do want to play f5 and g6. I'm probably going to keep the knight here and play this in a Sveshnikov fashion, because again, like, I've played many Sicilians, so I'm even very familiar with the Sveshnikov structures where the bishop goes to g5 and you snap a lot on e3, especially when the knight goes to c2 and e3. Right? So I go a5 to stop the b4 push. And then he goes knight c2. And look at this knight maneuver. One, right? Watch this knight move around. I go bishop g5, right? Which is a move. f5 is better, right? Well, in fact, actually f5 here was a little bit premature. And the problem with this is after takes, if I take with the bishop, right, this is just loose. b4 and I go knight e6. And I was looking at he can move like knight e3. And he's hitting this and this. He's hitting both of these. So if you play f5, which I wanted to do, then I'm hit with this. Now I got to give up the light square bishop, and I just opened up the king. And this is hanging. All at the same time. You literally just go from winning to losing, right? You know, like, it's so bad here. It's really, really bad. Really, really bad, right? Really bad. So I was like, I have to be careful of f5, right? So I want to play f5, but I got to be careful. So what do? I go a5. He goes knight c2. Excuse me. Then I go bishop g5 to either snap, but also I want to just keep the option of keeping the bishops on. He goes knight a3. Wow, positional chess is deep. Exactly, right? 717 Rome. Knight a3. He goes knight a3 for knight to b5. I go rook c8, and he puts the knight on b5. Now, what do you do in this position? What do you do? Alate says king h8, f5 is a plan. Okay, what else we got, chat? Right, right. King h8 followed by f5. Take. Bishop takes d5. Okay. g6 and f5. Queen d7. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, very nice, very nice. So if you do anything that is not bishop takes d5 or moving the king, it's a wrap. You can start a new game. You're going to be in a lot of trouble, right? Garbage. Here's why. Queen d7, I just hit him, splitting. Hit him! Oh my goodness. Knight takes d6, right? Right? Now pay attention to this tactic. Pay close attention to this tactic the entire game. Knight takes d6, queen takes, and then knight f6, and you can start a new game. You can start a new game. You can start a new game there. Yikes. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let's get that off the screen. Might be kids watching. All right. Okay, so rook c8, knight b5, and I go king h8. There it is. Block with your whole face. Exactly. 100% premium face blockage. Get him the stretcher. Exactly. So I go king h8. I get out the way. Have a nice day. So there is no knight d6. He goes b3. Now I go with the plan. g6, right? He goes knight back to c3 because he's now attacking the pawn. And I tried to figure out how to defend this pawn, right? You got it, Kenzie. Yeah, that's right. Alate, that's exactly right. Turkey, thanks for the follow. So I go in rook c6. But the problem is with the rook on c6, I can't go f5. And this got very strange. This got very strange here. I'm playing a strong international master, right? Martin Del Campo, very strong, right? He don't take many L's. So I'm rook c6, right? And this is difficult because I can't go f5. No, we can't go x5 because if you go f5, in fact, let's just make a move here. And if we go f5, big fella, right? Now, maybe if he takes, right? Right now, actually, sorry, queen g2. His queen's on d2. Let's not go there. Let's go queen e2 maybe. And then f5, right? The problem here, right, is after takes, there's many cases where you can just take this rook, right? You know, take this rook, especially after I take back, right? It's scary looking. Weirdly enough, Engine likes this compensation. And I saw this too. I actually looked at this. This is funny. Like, I looked at this position, Engine's saying that this is zeros. And what's funny is, guys, I thought the same thing. But I was thinking to myself, how is this like, you know, first, this is the sound you're about to hear is the emotion of this game. The engine says, let me show y'all, so I'm not making this up, right? The engine say that this is zeros. And I saw this line of giving up the exchange, playing f5 anyway, having a compensation. But the emotion here of like trying to convert this and figuring out everything out and being very accurate is like, wow, very nice. But what do you do now? Like, what do you now? Like, what do you do? What do you do? Because you better be very careful. These are always weak. These are always weak. So if you ever try to push them, you're in trouble. And if the king side attack doesn't work, well, what do you do? And you are down in exchange. So this is very risky and this is very, very committal. So the engine says it's equal, but I did see this line. And I was like, I mean, I could go f5 anyway and sack the exchange, but I was like, you know what? It's probably better not doing that. It's not forced. I can probably try to play f5 later. So what happens in the game? He goes queen c2 to probably put a rook on d1, right? And then I go rook a6 with the idea of playing f5. He goes rook d1, and then finally we go f5. Let's go, right? Let's go. Apparently, the evaluation swings to +1 after this. It was equal, and now it's like +1. And apparently, f5 was not the way to go at all. Weird. Very strange. In fact, what they wanted here was for me to just sit and, like, do nothing. Queen e7, h5. Because this is a very positional type game, and he has this bind up. Because he has this weird bind up, I mean, it's just weird all around, to say the least. So f5 is not the route. It's not the right route. So I go f5. It's +1, but not more, right? Not more. He goes queen e2, which actually makes it level again. I go queen e7, which is an inaccuracy. f4 was actually better, they said, but I wasn't sure if I was ever going to get an attack off if I play f4, so I didn't go for that. He goes rook f to e1. And here is where I started to dwindle. I remember sitting here and I'm like, okay, this attack isn't working. I think we're both getting lower on time. And I'm like, this is not working. Something went wrong. This is strange. What do we do? So what do you do, chat? And I remember even here it shows that I started to dwindle slightly with the move that I chose here. Definitely dwindled. And I guess it makes sense because even the engine, the best move from the engine here is something that you probably won't even play here. You won't even play here. Right, you're exactly. Difficult to do in a position. You're exactly, D-line. It feels hard under a piece here. F takes e4. So somebody says F takes e4. H7, h6. So playing h6. Just pushing the pawn up makes total sense. Push the pawn ski. Pawn a4, okay? A4 feels like an engine move here. Yeah, I was definitely looking at some A4 action. Trying to mess this up. A4, right? Mess all this up. Definitely possible. Very possible. Huge possibility, guys. Right thinking. Right thinking. And actually, what I was thinking at, and let me tell you what the engine's move is. The engine's move is actually bishop to c8. What? Whoa, strange, right? It's telling you, I guess, the knight going to e6, which I kind of looked at this. But I was like, wait, I can't really go here. Because if I go here, there's lines where he can take and take and take, right? There's a tactic here. It looks so ugly, doesn't it? Exactly. Bishop c8. No, I'm not doing that, right? So I played rook c8, which is just terrible. Bruh. It's just terrible, bro. Rook c8 is very bad. My idea here is to play a4, but it also shows, and I knew that this was weird, but I was thinking way too much on time. And this, you can tell that something's wrong here because all of the stuff I'm doing on this side of the board, and then I switch to rook c8, something's off. It means I don't have a plan. It's wrong. It's definitely wrong. But my plan here is to go a4. And when he goes b4, then I want to move the knight and put pressure on the c-pawn. That's my whole idea here, right? But then I missed that when he takes on f5, well, okay, it's up to you, chat. How do you take back? Do you take with the pawn or do you take with the bishop? Do you take with the pawn or do you take with the bishop? And this is what he does. He takes on f5, his black to move. Do you take with the pawn or do you take with the bishop? Latte says take with the pawn. Take with the pawn. Okay, very nice. Bishop. Bishop. The bishop. That's funny. Bishop x, okay. The b, h. Okay. The pawn, the pass. The b, b. Okay, bishop. Okay, pawn. All right, guys. If you take with the pawn, clap it up for yourself right now. Okay, there it is. Yeah. Garbage. That's not a move. Garbage. It's not a move. Garbage. Oh, you thought you was nice out here. Yeah, well, you're not. Well, you're not. I'm going to hit you with a 2-piece, send a stretcher to your address. We got it on file. Ooh, you get a stretcher. Yeah, you get a stretcher. Garbage. You get one. Garbage. What's your address again? Garbage. I know we got yours on file. Garbage. Come get this one, big fella. Garbage. Knight d6, you getting hit everywhere. Rook takes, and then after rook takes d6, queen takes e5. Sheesh. Oh my goodness. Bro, just resign now. Just resign. Sign the score sheet. Right? It'd be easy for everybody. Hitting. And remember, we talked about this tactic earlier, that 96 move, right? Sheesh. Oh my goodness. So after I played Rook C8, I forgot about this. This is I told you something was going wrong. Something was going wrong. Because I played Rook C8 and then he took, and then I realized, oh snap. I can't take with the pawn. So I had to take with the bishop. That's forced. That's a bad place to be when this is a forced move. So then he goes 94. I'm like, dang, I gotta take this. He hitting D6. Like, he hitting all of this, you know. All right, candy tell the bishop takes the obvious. So I went the other way. Nah, you had to take with the bishop here. I had to. And D6 is really bad. Really bad. I had to take. So takes. And I'm like, oh man, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble here, chat. I'm in trouble. Position looks trouble. Exactly. Engine says it's 1.8, almost +2. I thought about 96, right? I don't know why I didn't do 96. I think because he just goes like G3. I didn't like that, and I was like, well, dang. I can't go knight D4. I can't go knight F4. And this knight is most active right here. Right here, Sam. We actually recording for YouTube right now. Say hi, Twitch to YouTube. And YouTube to Twitch. Right, so 96. Yeah, but A4. I played A4 because this was the plan. Boom, A4. So I play A4. Right, to break this up, he goes bishop C2. I take back. And then here y'all go. Y'all ready for this? Okay, what do you play? What do you play here, chat? What do you play in this position? Black to move. So it feels a little better, right? It goes from plus 1.8 to +1. You know, you're feeling a little bit better about life, right? Sheesh. Feeling a little bit better. But what do we do now? Rook A2, Rook A2, Rook A2. A lot of y'all like this Rook A2. Rook A2. The problems with Rook A2 as I saw, I think it was Knight C3 to D5. But it is possible. It was very possible for me to play Rook A2. I didn't go for Rook A2 though. Rook A2, Rook D8, Knight C6, or Knight E6, sorry. So these moves. Okay. Rook F8. Somebody said Rook F8, hitting F2. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Rooks do need, yeah, open files, Rook F8, right? We're going to F8. Rook C to D8. Okay. And you only can know, this is the only one that can go there. So it's just Rook D8. Try 96, right? Okay. So here we go. If you said 96, clap it up. Clap it up. Clap it up. That's what I played. That's what I played. But it is absolute garbage to get this man off the board. Oh my goodness. It's a blunder. Oh my goodness. And this is why I told you that this is, this game is called the Master Swindler. The Master Swindler. Because I played 96 and forgot that D6 is hanging. Remember, we talked about this from the beginning, that he can take on D6 in many of these lines. And I forgot he played Knight D6 and I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What did I just do? Oh, wow. And I was like, wow, I'm hit. He hit me with a 2-piece and a biscuit. He hit me with a hitting splitting right now. Oh, yeah, I'm getting hit right now. He hit me on D6. The rook's hanging. Because the problem if I go rook D6, right? After rook takes D6, queen takes E5, wins on the spot. First off, you're in check. Secondly, your rook's hanging. So no matter how you block this, I'm just going to mop up everything. It doesn't matter. Whatever you do, I don't care where you move. Give me everything on the way out. I don't care how you want to do this, but give me everything on the way out, big fella. Appreciate you. Right. Start a new one. You were calculating where you wanted to piece it and forgot to calculate. Yeah, I actually just forgot because this was here for so long. And you keep saying don't, hey, okay, can't do that because he's gonna do that. And you still do it anyway. And this was tough because this was already a tough position for me. So I go 96. He thinks he has like 5-6 minutes on the clock. He stops, he thinks, and I realizes he can take on D6. Bruh. Oh my goodness. And he does it. He takes on D6. And I'm like, what am I going to do right now? What am I going to do? But remember, this is called the Master Swindler. Right now, I'm getting mollywopped. This game is getting close to being over. But I'm still about to hit this man with the saber and the force. that we train so hard with, right? It's black to move, chat. What do you do? Sometimes, and this is an international master, remember that. Sometimes you have to fight, right, like this in your games. And it may not be pretty. It may not be pretty, but you may come out on the other side with that saber. Black to move. What do you do? Rook F8, Rook C5, Pastry Avenger. Thanks for the follow. Chess is hard. Yes, 977. So hard. I blitz Rook D8 and pray for the flag. Yep. Okay. Bishop F6. What I didn't like is the fact that he can take this pawn too. So Rook D8 to me was not a move. I was not going to any endgame. I need pieces on the board because shout out to my uncle Nesbedinov. And, you know, what would Nesbedinov do? And my grandfather Tao, right? We're going to keep pieces on the board. So I start out with Rook to C5. Wow. Here it is. And Rook C5 is a cool move. It defends, right? Obviously. And I still have options of swinging the knight to F4 or D4. I also got some, if he make a mistake, something going on back there, right? Cool. Let's see what happens. Right now it's +4, right? So let me update y'all on like what's happening. After Rook C5, he finds the best move right here. B4. Oh my goodness. Bruh. I'm in trouble. If trouble was a thing, this is it right here. I'm in trouble. This is trouble, big fella. I'm in a lot of trouble. If I move the rook, again, he takes on E5. So I can't move the rook virtually, and the rook is hanging. Bruh. I can't move the rook, and the rook is hanging. So what kind of situation does that put you in? Well, a situation like this. I'm going to take the piece first, right? I'm going to take on D6 first because now I was looking at this. If he takes on C5, this was my line. If he takes on C5, I was going to take on D1, right? And he can take on E5. Actually, this line loses. I actually saw this. Like, look how tricky this is. I can go Bishop F6 in this line. And now his rook, the rook's hanging and all this is hanging. And if he checks me, I got Rook D8. Oh my goodness. Like I saw this in my calculations. This is like, you know, being a master swindler and being very resourceful, right? So I remember this. So I was looking at this, right? I also looked at, okay, rook takes. If he takes with the queen or the rook, it doesn't really matter. Well, then I can take with the queen or the knight. Sorry, not queen D7. My mouse slips. It's tripping today. So knight to, I think queen takes was the move I wanted to do. But here, I mean, this is terrible. This is terrible. But at least I'm fighting. Look, I'm about to fight to the death. And hopefully I can get this pawn. We'll see what happens, right? And he was lower on time as well. So lower on time makes you definitely make mistakes. Cool. Right, I go for rook takes d6. He hits me here. Boom. Now I saw this line. This was my favorite line. And he goes for it. He goes rook takes d6. And then here it is, chat. Black to move. Here it is. Black to move. What do you do? Find it. What is the move now? What is the move now? I mean, this was absolutely nuts. I remember the emotions and like just the adrenaline in this game was so high. The adrenaline in this game was so high, bro. After these next few moves, I couldn't believe. I mean, guys, this is about to get nuts. Put on your tactic hats. Okay, we got knight d4, knight f4 from Latte, and knight d4. Okay, and knight, another one for knight d4, another knight d4 there. Tactic. Well, okay, guys. So knight d4 actually is a move. The problem here is that after rook takes, pawn takes, I mean, this is just trash. Like, I'm getting, this is terrible right here. Like, bro, what? Like, bruh. Garbage. Yo, don't even put this on the board. Like, don't even do this in a real tournament. Don't even play this out. This is just disrespectful to people watching, to yourself, to the organizers. Bruh. Don't do that. Don't do that. So, the move is knight f4, in fact. Right, hitting the queen. You hit the queen this way. You need some brain fuel. You do. You do. You do. You do. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's funny. Oh, man, that's hilarious. Yo, Everett Will, thanks for gifting the sub to NYC Hezzy. NYC Hezzy. So here it goes, guys. I hit him with knight f4. Right. And right now, if he wants to keep material, well, what does he do, right? I mean, he could kind of move his queen almost anywhere, but queen d1, weirdly enough, was the move that I thought he would play. Because this is a logical, like, if I flip the board here, what makes a lot of sense? Queen d1. You're covering the rook, you're hitting the queen. And I saw this in my own analysis. Cover the rook. He also was lower on time too. I think he had like 4 minutes or something, maybe lower. But here, queen d1. He goes queen d1. Boom. I take on c4. This is all of my analysis. Boom. I mean, look how crazy this is right now. He can't check me on the back range because my bishop covers d8. Right? This is pressure ball move. I'll take type 94. Hello. Yeah. Let's go. Right. So look, d8 is covered. So what does he do? Make the logical move. Rook d7. Hit the queen. It's logical. It's logical. And now here we go. I hit this. I hit him. I set him up with the little 2-piece. Like I hit him with the little setup, right? Y'all ready for the setup? Bruh. Somebody find the line. I need somebody to find the variation. What is the setup? I saw it right here. I saw it right here. And this is when I said, what would Nesmedinov do? Shout out to my uncle Nesmedinov. And shout out to my grandfather Tao one time as the inspirations for this game. And honestly, this tournament, my style in particular, all together. But definitely this game is a reflection of making something out of nothing. Black to move. What do you do, guys? What's the setup? The legal move, queen c6. Okay, all right. Yeah, it's pretty gross. Pretty gross. At least he honest. Queen takes b4. Your stream is cool. Thanks, Samu. So, what do you do, guys? What do we do? What is the line? What do you think I did here? I set him up and he fell right into it, guys. It was so cool because the setup was there and it feels great. Obviously, we never want to get to this position again, ever. But the fact that we was able to set this up and it worked was beautiful and very satisfying. Let's see what happens. Queen takes b4, 92. Okay, so here I kind of calculated this already, right? I remember when I was in my calculations and I went for this line, I played queen e6, and this is another thing that you can do in over-the-board chess that you can't do online. What you can do is make moves quickly and make your opponent think that you blundered. So here is go. I go queen e6. Oh no. Oh no, my queen. Oh no, my piece. Oh no, my skewer. Right, you know, like, oh no, my skewer, right? So I didn't obviously do this, but I played queen e6 very quickly, acting like, oh no, I missed bishop b3, oh no. And he plays bishop b3, and then I hit this man with a move, queen c6. Oh my goodness. It's about to get real. It's about to get real. The master swindler is here. And you're like, yo, it's nothing to it. If he finds the right move, I'm just crushed. I'm literally just game over. The game is literally over if he does it right here. All he has to do is queen g4. Let's flip the board and see why queen g4 is so hard, right? Who's going to play queen g4 right here? There's a checkmate, right? You're trying to keep everything together. This is weird. You're probably going to play f3. Probably, right? What does Feingold say, right? Never play f3. Bruh. Never, right? Never play f3. What's up, Del Slash? So I saw this right here, right? Never play f3, right? One more time. Never play f3. What does he play? He plays f3. Oh my goodness. And when he did it, I played this move so fast. And I mean, what? Oh my goodness. When I played this move, the saber got real hot. And it got real hot in the room. It got very, very hot. And as time started clicking and ticking, you saw the sweat dripping, right? And he came out the little leather jacket. And it got real. Black to move, chat. What do you do? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And shout out to, again, Grandfather Tao and Uncle Rashid Nesmedinov. I mean, this is crazy. I was able to see this like instantly. Instant Jedi. You know, like the little instant teleport with the little 2 fingers. You know what I mean? The little, you know. There it is. 717 got it. I did this move right here and I walked away. Okay, I didn't really do this, but in my head I did like this. I did rook c1. And then walk away like, you know what I mean? Like, and then walk away. Because I played this over the board. Imagine this. Over the board. Rook c1 on the board. So the intention here is if he takes, right, I go knight e2 or knight h3 with check, flex real hard. For the people in the back, flex real hard. 1 time, 2 time, thank you very much. So he can't take this, right? It's a nice deflection. If he steps off, I take the rook and then take this rook. I'm up a piece. So he goes for the only way to bail out, which is rook d8 check. If you take this rook, I mean, that's GG. Like, start a new game. That's GG. You don't take. So I saw this, king g7, right? He can go rook e7, but I'm going to tuck and roll. So he goes queen d7, thinking I'm going to take, right? But all I do is I say, nope, shake and bake, tuck and roll. Tuck and roll. King h6, I'm out of there. I'm out of there. So after queen c6, you take on e1, right? So I saw this. Queen takes, I take on e1. If he goes king f2, I have check here. And then after king f1, I take on c6. I'm up a piece now. Out of nowhere. Unbelievable. If g3, I can go bishop takes d8. Obviously. And I'm up a piece from a losing position. From a losing position. So I go king h6. And then I saw this. When he played here, he took. And I couldn't believe it, bro. I couldn't believe it because now I'm winning. I'm completely winning in this position. I'm completely winning. And I finished it out nicely. After queen takes c1 check, he blocks with the queen. Logical, because if he blocks with the bishop, obviously I can just take the rook, and that's gonna be that's very bad for him. So he blocked with the queen. I go check, not take the queen. And then he goes, if he goes king h1 or f1, it doesn't matter. And then I come back and I took the rook. And this is it, guys. And you sit back and look, and I'm completely winning. The international master is nothing he can do here. If you take the bishop, obviously there's a mate in 2. Very quick mate in 2. Right. And I'm up a piece. So what does he do? He g3 me to hit the knight. And after I play bishop b6, he resigned. Was a game, dog. That was nuts. Now, obviously, we never want to get to this position again. But this is absolutely crazy. Why wouldn't queen b6 work? Well, I'll show you. In fact, queen b6 followed by... if we go back here with this queen b6 idea, f3, queen b6 is not a move. In fact, you just completely lose. After queen f2, right, and you think you're doing something nice, he just goes rook d2 and asks you, what do you do? Oh, you can hit that resign button. Hit that hard resi. Yeah, that's some definite Jedi level stuff. Yeah, bro. This is when tactic works, it feels good. Man, this was fire, guys. This was a crazy game. This was called the Master Swindler. So from the top, Master Swindler game here. I mean, this was just a straight swindle. Like, I mean, the opening was fine. Everything was good. And then as soon as I played f5, it was bad, right? It was bad. I played the f5 move, right? And then I blunder. And I stayed in there. I stayed, never give up. Exactly. I stayed in there. I didn't give up. I didn't give up, right? And that is really makes you feel good when you can fight and give up and not give up from a losing position and even come back to win the game. Oh my goodness. Knight at 4 right here is +4, guys. It's +4. +4. And then queen d1 and rook takes c4 is still +4. Rook d7, this is an IM, right? International master, right? And then queen e6, bishop b3, queen c6, and rook c1. That was a nasty move. I mean, that's just... that right there. Papa Tao will be proud. Be proud, Papa Tao. Grandpa. Grandfather Tao. Uncle Nesmadino. Right. So I got out the way. Have a nice day. I hit him there. I split him there. And the rest is history. And that was this game, guys. This was the Master Swindler. Hopefully you enjoyed the analysis. Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't already. And we'll see y'all for round 4 tomorrow.